Or they try to.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh Business Virgin, where we interview successful business owners to educate the virgin segment of the population who are thinking about starting their own businesses. I'm your host, Brad Hilbert, president of Three Rivers Wealth Management Group.
I'd like to welcome today's guest, Mr. Justin Police, who is the owner of Police Mortgage, located right off of Route 79 in Crafton. Justin has been helping his first-time home buyers, repeat buyers, those needing to refinance, as well as the self-employed meet their mortgage needs for almost 8 years. Justin has had experience at larger firms before, deciding actually to open up his own shop and focus on the individual and make them feel like they're part of his family. Today you're going to hear how Justin decided that it was time to take the plunge and start his own private practice. He will also share some of his personal experiences in navigating the ups and downs of his industry and the prospect of being a business owner and how he sets himself apart from the field. With that being said, Justin, welcome to Three Rivers Wealth Management Group and our production of the Pittsburgh Business Virgin.
Thank you for having me.
Justin, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Hey, I want to start out one of the questions that we always begin with all of our interviews is, how'd you make the decision to start your own business?
I was going to kind of through a early midlife crisis, so to speak.
When you were 15? When
I was 15, yeah. What happened was, I played sports all throughout college, football, basketball, baseball, and I go from that to working at a desk job at Mellon Bank and going to grad school at Pitt, which is
torture.
Yeah, basically the boringest thing you can do. And I needed something. I needed a change. And talking to counselors, talking to friends and family members, we had a family crisis that our family went through. I just decided, hey, let's make the change. I'm 25 years old. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'm 27 and I'm still young enough to start another career.
I bet that made your mom feel really good.
Well,
that's where mom and dad's over there saying to mom, you're going to want to clean his bedroom up because he's coming home.
Exactly.
No, I mean, listen, I think we all, anybody that's open to business, I think everybody's supportive, but they still fear for you.
Well, the biggest thing was having my parents' support.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into how I started the company. They were there to, for me to lend money from. They gave me startup costs and said basically,
that's awesome.
We had a basis of being successful. I had people that were in the industry that kind of gave me the foundation of the knowledge of, who to talk to, what companies to work with, and what appraisers to work with. But I actually had to go do it on my own. So having, I think they
gave you the information you needed to take action.
They gave me the resources, and having the background of my parents, really allowed us to start the company.
Good. So Justin, with that in mind, you weren't a typical situation where you were out applying for loans at all, or did you have to have additional outside help? How did that?
Not really. I didn't. I mean, we, to start a mortgage business, is different than a lot of other businesses. You're not buying a ton of equipment. Your overhead is not that expensive. I went out to California, actually, and went to a 2-week course that taught me how to become a mortgage broker, how to open up my own shop, down to, where to buy supplies, to what credit agencies.
How'd you find that? How'd you find the school that you went to in California?
It was just a lot of research.
Yeah.
Looking through different publications. And that was our biggest expense. That ran about $10,000 to go out there. And it was invaluable because while I was working at the bank and saving money, they were homeschooling me. So, it took us about a year, to start this company up. So it wasn't like, hey, we need $100,000 to start this. It was more or less, okay, let's do this. Let's pay this bill. Getting licensed at that time was about a 6-month period. So, you were able to save and defer some bills until we opened up.
Okay. Now, were you, since it wasn't a perfect situation, or you had the perfect situation, excuse me.
Right.
But somebody starting out may not have those capabilities.
Right.
Where can they go now if they, they see the mortgage industry maybe coming back, and that's something that they want to get into? How would you recommend them to go get funding? How would they play that out?
Well, the biggest thing now is it has changed so much. Before, back in the day, you needed $1,000 for an application and not to have a felony on your record. Fill out an application, it takes 6 months. You sign, notarize all these forms, and you're ready to go. Now it's a lot longer process. You have to get pre-licensing requirements. You have to get fingerprints and background checks. You have to pass tests.
Does it cost a little more now?
It does. It costs a lot more. But I think the big thing is if you have good credit, which is going to be one of the ways you get qualified in the first place, there are personal loans out there. Going to a local bank or a local credit union, they will give you a personal loan. They'll give you a small business loan up to $25,000 or $35,000, just based really on your past income history and your credit report. So it's there's money to be, there's money to get out there. It's just going through the proper channels.
Awesome. As we wrap up this segment with Justin Police regarding just some of the initials, what we hear from Justin is you definitely did your homework. I mean, this wasn't something that you decided, hey, I'm going to become a mortgage broker and just start doing mortgages. You had a job, but more importantly, you had a 9-to-5 job. But once you got done with the 9-to-5 job, it sounded like you did the 5-to-9 job, which was to go out, do the research, do the online courses. But also, it sounded like you took your vacation time from Mellon Bank to actually go out to California to do a crash course and what have you. So, I mean, the bottom line is, as you're getting prepped to do your business, you got to come to the realization it's going to be a lot of hours, a lot of long hours, a lot of late nights getting all the ducks in a row. But most importantly, from what I hear, what you said is you had a strong support structure. You also knew you got in contact with the right people. You had some people that were willing to help you and give you the expertise and the contacts. But at the end of the day, it came down to your action.
Right. Yeah.
Fair summary of the beginning.
Yeah,
Genesis
absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, come on back for segment 2, where we talk to Justin about some of the challenges around the business, especially with everything that's happened in the mortgage crisis. I can't wait to hear more about your thoughts on it and go from there. See you in a few.
Because you can't print your own money without going to the Slammer. Three Rivers Wealth Management Group, in Pittsburgh for Pittsburghers. TRWMG.com. That's TRWMG.com.